by telling me that my dad no longer saw me as his child. My dad no longer wanted to see me. He no longer loved me. Everybody hated me. I'm ill myself. I'm I was nothing but a piece of trash, and that's
Yeah.
how they broke me down every
And
day,
that
nonstop.
continued from '97 forward, right?
It's considered from '97 forward until right now. Even now, if I try and contact one of my brothers and sisters, the abuse still goes.
Tell us, and I guess it started from back then in '97. Give us some idea as to who would heap this mental abuse on you,
My
Coach.
mother, my mother, Linda,
Okay.
my sister Marie, my sister Amy, uh, my other mothers, which were married to Wendell, Wendell himself, just many of them. It's hard to count. Each day was a complete full of abuse. If I wasn't being abused, I was being worked. I was being worked. Wendell would have me work. Wendell would have me work uh, about 95 hours a week. He put me on. He started me out when I was 16. I started out in his company, and I was getting paid $7 an hour. I moved up to pretty quickly because of how good I was at CNC machining. I moved pretty quickly up to about $12 an hour. Then what he did is he switched me from $12 an hour to $1,000 a month on everything. I got paid one time a month. It was $1,000, and he could work me as much as he wanted. He didn't ask me if I wanted to be switched. He just switched me. I was putting in 12-hour shifts Monday through Friday, and then Friday everybody went home, and I stayed there. They made me stay there and work from Friday 7 o'clock at night till Monday morning 7 o'clock without any sleep, without anything. I had to stay there and run 5 machines by myself.
Okay. So this during this period of time, you were singled out more so than others for what
Yes,
treatment.
yes, because mainly because of how deep my affection was for my dad.
Okay. And you got pushed back for continuing to have loyalty to your father.
Yes,
What year did he pass away?
he he passed away last year, July of
Okay.
last year.
And so Wendell ran CNC machinery.
Yes.
Okay. What was your feel for during those years, '97 until whenever you left Salt Lake, as to others of your general age? In other words, those who are still growing up, who are getting abused as well.
It really didn't get talked about it. That's the thing is you didn't dare talk about it. If you talk to somebody else about it, I mean, there is one person I told about the abuse that was happening with Warren Jeffs. I was 8 years old. I told my mom, my real mother, that what Warren Jeffs was doing to me. I have never watched the movie. I've never even learned the word. I just said that Warren Jeffs was touched me down there and touched me in places that were not appropriate. And she beat me black and blue and told me that if I ever told another lie like that again, she would literally end my life.
About how old were you then?
I was 8, and
Okay.
after that, I was silent about everything.
Okay. So that would have been about '91.
Yes.
Okay. And the abuse that you received from Warren would have taken place in or around Salt Lake.
Yes. Yes. The abuse that I took from Warren happened on about 4 different occasions. And they were whenever we went up because even though we were living in Colorado City, we still went up for family reunions and for Warren Jeff's birthday and for Rulon Jeff's birthday and different things that involved the Jeffs family.
So what year did you actually move to Short Creek?
Short Creek, I was 3 when we moved.
Okay. I mean, you talk about the sexual abuse that happened at the academy with Warren Jeffs. Were you ever a victim of that at Alta Academy?
Yes, yes, it happened. It happened in Alta Academy. It happened. I'd say in the 2 years that I was at Elk Academy, it happened about 10 times.
Okay. I guess by people other than Warren Jeffs.
No, not by Warren. Warren Jeff's the only one.
Okay. Was all of his physical abuse there at the academy?
Yes. Well, yes. His main abuse. I stopped going and seeing him. The only reason it stopped with Warren Jeffs is because I no longer was around him. I made up excuses not to go to his place. I would pretend I was sick. I just would go and disappear into the mountains. We had mountains. I would disappear in the mountains, and they didn't have time to go find me, so everybody would just leave, and I would just go back to an empty home.
Um, did you get in your mind a feel for who you felt, I'm talking about adult wise, knew exactly what was going on with him, what he was doing?
Yeah, a lot of his brothers knew what was going on with him. Uh, a lot of people knew a lot of people knew what was happening, and nobody said anything.
I mean, we're talking 20 people, 30 more.
Yeah, I pretty much say that 20, 30, 40 people knew what he was doing before he assumed power. Once he assumed power, then everybody pretty much knew what he was doing. They just kept a blind eye to it because he is prophet.
Did anyone ever make an attempt to protect you, run interference between Warren and you, or other victims, as far as you know?
No, my dad. My dad was the only one, and he got exiled for it, and then he died broken because of it.
You remember what your dad did?
My dad
Yeah,
basically
to
told,
stand up to him or say something
yeah,
about it?
yeah, my dad basically just told him, he called him into his office, and this was when I was exiled, but my dad told me about it later on. Uh, when I was exiled, my dad started asking questions, and they did not like that. And so he had a meeting with him, and in that meeting, Dad confronted him about everything. Dad just basically asked him why did you do this to John? And then he just doing it. He's like, I know something else was going on. And then he basically told Warren Jeffs, if Warren Jeffs ever lays a finger or does anything to any of his children, he will be back to he'll be back, pretty much put him out of his misery.
And that's when he was exiled.
And that's when they exiled my dad as quickly as possible. My dad just took it. He just left.
But you have a feel for it was after '97, but you know when your dad would have had that conversation with him.
I don't because I was exiled. Uh, Nobody really knows that happened because my dad's dead, and he told me that in private, and so that would be hard to prove.
Okay.
But a lot of people were going against. I mean, you're talking a lot of people. Most of the people that would know what Warren Jeffs is doing are exiled and kicked out.
But unless they just turn a blind eye to it, don't say anything.
That too. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that know a lot of stuff about it, and they've been eliminated, or they just turn a blind eye to it because if they go back and try and do something about it, it's going to threaten something that they're trying to keep hidden out there themselves.
You
I
know,
didn't ask this earlier, guys, but are y'all where you can talk? Are there other folks in the visiting room, or you have some privacy right now?
right now we have privacy. I think we'll probably have to, we should wrap it up pretty soon, though.
Yeah. We didn't want to stay on the phone too long, and like I said, for us to start doing our work and getting time frames and doing our investigation, we needed a little more. Neil, so you'll know, John did fill me in a last visit, kind of about his work history and some things that I can fill you in on later. Anything, Neil, you wanted to ask John specifically before we gave Carl a chance, if he wants to give us a little of his background? No, I'm just sitting here taking notes. I think we covered everything.
Yeah. And I can come back, I'm gonna be visiting with them next, Sunday too. So if there's, things you think of through the week and you want, some more clarification or other things, then we can continue it then.
Yeah, that or and we kind of let you know what we're interested in, and that may be a more efficient way to do it is when you're visiting. Neil, I don't know if I told you, but they only have 5 minutes on the phone except for Sunday afternoons. That's why we're doing this now. But and you missed Neil at the fundraising event. John did a really good job. He just touched the tip of the iceberg, obviously, but I think folks there got at least some feel for what's been going on. But Carl's there too. Carl's 19. If Carl, if you want to let us know anything today while we have a minute or two, that's fine. If you don't feel like talking now, that's fine too.
I like John to talk. I'll just listen.
It's hard, guy. I'm just telling you.